everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing my creative process on how to turn your ideas into final artworks. Now this is a process I use for a lot of my detailed pieces that have a lot of different elements to them, and it really helps me a lot. This is also good for you to use whether it's for canvas paintings, whether it's for color pencil drawings or painting or drawing in your sketchbook. This can work for you. Now, the first point is your idea. Now, your idea is basically a story that you want to tell, how you want to express yourself, or something that you want to portray. In this case, I want to portray Mother Nature. The second point is your thumbnail. Now, your thumbnail is very important because it basically is your composition of what your piece is going to be like. So basically, how your piece is going to be laid out, all the different elements and components of your piece, how they're going to be laid out in your piece. Thumbnails are not very detailed and they're very messy. They don't need to make a lot of sense as long as they make sense to you. There's no, getting fine details in there or anything like that. It's just to get an idea of what you think would look good in your piece as you work on your piece. So this gives you a place to basically let out all your ideas, get them out on paper, and then choose which one you are most drawn to and best represents what you want to create on your paper or canvas. So you can have multiple thumbnails, you can have more than 3, you can have less than 3. It's entirely up to you. In this case, I'm using 3 because I wanted to just see my options so that once I'm done with them, I can look at all 3 and look at them and see which one I'm most drawn to and which one makes the most sense and which one I really, would like to paint or draw. Now, your thumbnail stage, a lot of artists leave the stage out, and I was one of them. I never used to do this before, and I found now that what the benefit of using thumbnails. So I would highly recommend you using thumbnails, taking this extra step, and just seeing how it benefits you in your artwork. Also, you'll see me writing a lot. This is me just getting out all my ideas and my thoughts and on this piece and what I feel I want to include in this piece and what I don't want in this piece. That's what I'm just basically brainstorming as to what I want this piece to be and how I want it to turn out. So, like I said, the thumbnails are messy. Now, I'm just drawing them out and trying to see all my ideas, what I think, because the different thoughts come to me. Okay, I want it to look like this. In my mind, I'm visualizing all these different thumbnails in my mind. And although the thumbnails look messy in my mind, it looks really good. So I'm just getting those thoughts out on paper, and then I'm going to choose which one I think will look the best. So you'll see the first one, I've got Mother Nature with a hand held out with a landmass and a tree. She's holding a landmass and a tree growing from it. The second one is a tree with a face in the tree. And then the third one is just two hands or Mother Nature's hands holding a landmass. It was basically the landmass is in mid-air with a tree, which is the option I went for. Now, the third point is your sketch. The sketching stage is very important. Now, you can sketch onto your final surface that you're going to be painting on or drawing on, or you can sketch on a separate piece of paper to that size and then transfer it with transfer paper onto your actual piece that you're going to be painting on or surface that you're going to be painting on. Now, the sketching stage is much different from your thumbnail stage because this is the stage where you get your details in, where you get your accuracy, your proportions right, because you need to have as much information in your sketch as possible to allow you to paint and not have a problem when you're going in with your painting. The next point number 4 is color. Now, color is very important because this is a stage where you're going to choose your color palette for your piece. Now, your color palette can be anything that you feel drawn to for your piece. In my case, for this piece, I wanted something nature related, so it's going to be browns, greens, yellows, very earthy colors. So that's the palette that I chose, but I did choose some other colors which I have. You'll see me listing them as I'm writing, but I'm not going to go with a lot of those colors because as I work through the piece, I realized that those colors are not going to really, make sense for my piece. And it may have made sense in my mind when I started thinking of ideas, but now I realize it's not going to really, make sense. So that's the thing of using this time to create this plan and, creating this list of ideas and getting all your thoughts out. because it really gets everything out onto paper, and then you can pick and choose what you want to use, and you can even add other things as you go about sketching and painting. Point number 5 is basically starting to paint. That's when you actually begin your painting or your drawing or coloring if you're using color pencils. So that's when you're going to be beginning that part of your artwork. Now, that is the best part of the artwork and the most exciting part of the artwork, but also the most intimidating, because that's when you actually have to start. And usually, even for experienced artists, I'm sure even myself, we feel very nervous at the stage. It's normal, but you just need to push through and carry on, and just hope that everything goes well. And if it doesn't, you just restart or redo it if you want to. So now at this stage is when you start choosing the paper that you want to use, the surface that you're going to use, or the canvas. When you start choosing the medium you're going to use, whether it's going to be color pencils, acrylic paint, watercolors, gouache, whatever medium you're going to use. So at this stage, that's when you're going to be choosing all of that before you start actually painting. Now you're going to really look at your artwork and your sketch, and then lighten your sketch and then start painting over. And also try to take a photo of your sketch so that while you are painting, if something gets covered over, you even easily can refer to your photo to see what that image looked like before you started painting, so you can find all those details. Now, after you have your paint selected, your surface selected, or your medium selected, your surface selected, and you've got your sketch done, or if you don't have your sketch done now, like in my case, I'm now only sketching in my sketchbook, then you can start painting. So in this case, I am sketching out my idea that I chose from the thumbnail onto my paper. Now I haven't done another sketch. This is my sketching phase of this piece and my point of sketching. I've done the idea part, thinking about my idea. I've done the thumbnail part, and I've obviously thought of my color palette, and I'm going to be starting to paint, but at the moment I'm working on my sketch. So this is when I'm working on my sketch. I'm working straight in my sketchbook, and I'm getting the sketch down onto paper. So I've used my own hands as a reference to get the angle right, and I'm going to be using some watercolors, and I'm just going to be using some round brushes for the painting process. Once you start painting, you can make a bit of adjustments as you go along, as you see fit. You can see now I'm just painting everything with the base layer, just to have an idea as I'm building up layers. Remember, with watercolors you need to build up layers, and you need to work from light to dark. So I'm going in now and I'm just painting in the tree. I'm getting in all those branches and I'm getting the bark in. At this point, I'm not really paying attention to detail, but I am going to start adding more shadows and more details and darkening the colors as I work through the different layers. You can really decide for yourself when you want to stop, because obviously this is done from my mind and I haven't got a reference for it. So deciding on how much of shadows or how dark I want the shadows and how light I want the highlights. I've done the branches on all the bark. Now I'm going in with a darker brown just to add more shadows and get those a little darker, because that'll make it look a bit more real. Although I'm not going for realism, I'm just trying to create an illustration, but I'm trying to just get those darker colors in. And now I'm just going in and painting the darker parts of the landmass. That's just the soil of the part that's just hovering in the air in the mother nature's hands. And I'm just painting that in, adding some darker browns as I go along, and just adding some brighter greens. Now, as I said before, a lot of the colors that I would have liked to add to this piece didn't make it into this piece. So I'm not too sad about that, because that's something that does happen when you are painting. Things will stay, things will change, things will, you'll decide on something else. So that's just how it is with artwork. Now you can see I'm just putting a little bit of an outline around all the fingers and the hand, just to basically get a outline for a Mother Nature's hands, but I'm using paint to do that. At this point, I was adding some browns for more of the shadow areas, but then I realized, it's not really looking special. It's looking just like an ordinary person's holding that tree up. So I decided to add some green because I would assume Mother Nature would be in nature, should be green, and I think it just creates this nurturing feel by having her with the hands. And I'm gonna be adding some of these little strokes and lines that are going to represent the nourishing power that she has emanating from her hands. And you see this tree, and then I'm going to add some more details to the tree or leaves to the tree. You can see me adding some grass around the tree. And then now I'm just adding some of the leaves. Now, I didn't want to go too detailed with this piece and add too much of leaves to the tree because I said it can become overpowering, and I want the main focus to be on the hands and then going up to the tree. So I added some leaves, and then I'm going to be adding another layer of leaves with a darker green. You can see me adding that now. That's just to really bring that tree, make it look more full and make it look more lush and beautiful. And then I'm going to be just adding some leaves floating about because obviously this is Mother Nature, it's power emanating from her hands and the power of her nurturing power that she has. So I just got these leaves that are going to be painted all around the tree. I'm also going to be adding these little lines and markings on the paper, which is going to basically show the power that she has in her hands. And that's basically what I wanted to just portray in this piece. And I just added some more shadows of the green to her hands as well. And then I've also added a little bit of yellow because that was the color that I wanted to include, but I wanted it to be in such a way that it looks like it's nature's colors. So you can see me going over with some more green and blending that through, adding some shadows. And you can see I'm just painting in some details to the leaves and also to the landmass and to the bark of the tree. I'm also outlining the hand again just so that it stands out a lot, and I'm using green this time. And then now I'm just going in with a white gel pen and adding a little bit of highlights to the hands, as well as adding some flowers to the airland around the tree. I've also added some other orange flowers around as well. Now I'm just going with some color pencils to add some texture to the entire piece wherever I feel that it needs a bit more texture. So basically that's it for this piece, and that's what I just wanted to portray in this piece. And I want to portray the nurturing effect Mother Nature has on earth and on plants, and just to appreciate our natural environment that we have, because I have been spending a lot of time in nature recently. So that's just what I wanted to portray. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have, don't forget to like and share. It really helps the channel out. And if you'd like to see other art content that I put up on my channel, then you could consider subscribing. Till the next one. Bye.